where emotion comes? From remaining part of my darkness in the mind projected to those innocent beings which appear as a people. Today is a bit looks like a horror movie. Very nice. But, I consciously make decision to awake because I understand what it means. And I understand I am not yet there. That means there is a time needed. And I take away any responsibility for my life, for my relationships, for my business, for my money making, for my meditations, for my decisions where to go, to whom to meet. And because my my director, Christ, takes over my body, and there is trick. Life from linear approach, but when you are ego mode, it's really linear. Even if each day is separate from each, you never know. Today is continuation of yesterday. If your life is based on ego goals and ego understanding, it's just like a movie. Yeah, it's set up. It's ready. All season is ready. You cannot change it. It's filmed already. But if you get into that connection, then each day appears filled with so many different situations. When you go through those situations or appearances, which are always not easy, they're not meant to be happy. No, they're just, it's how much the sleeping mind and actor and director and role player can afford, cope with. You understand? It's a maximum. What stands between me and true self and love? I choose love. I choose God. God is awakening. That means it's total awakening from, yeah? It's Jesus disappears, yeah? This is what it means. And he becomes only Christ. That is moment of absolute awakening. And from the world, not in the world. There is awakening in the world. When you are in the world, you know, and then you awake from the world disappears. And what stands between the one who knows all this story, what I share with you, and this moment of absolute awakening? There are obstacles or some kind of a remaining part of inner darkness in the mind, which can be healed or neutralized, not by efforts of the one who has made wrong decision. The one who made wrong decision cannot find a way back. Therefore, this obligation, responsibility is taking off from the seeker, from the actor, from the role player, and given to true self, which is a spirit, which is God, which is love, which is absolute. And that absolute creates in front of the one who goes for awakening such appearances which are the short track, allow darkness, remaining part of darkness from the seeker's mind, because it is always within a mind, not in the world. World is neutral, nice. All people, doesn't matter of religion, they're in prisons, or they're billionaires, they're Trumps, they're Putins, or they're Zelenskys, or whatever. That is neutral. Darkness is not in the world. Darkness in the dreamer's mind. And if there is still, if I know what I know, but there is still darkness in my mind, it must be healed consciously. Mind must understand that it is not escape from the wrong world. Mind must see darkness in this dual world, which appears through strange people, situations, some kind of scary moments, or moments which is, what is this, what to do now, yeah? And allow true self to take over actor or illusory self, which this called individuality at this moment, and embody, and to let it rule through in inner peace, joy, and happiness. Because that goal, peace, joy, and happiness, applies to the mode how I approach the world. My goal is just a way how I consciously make a goal, peace, joy, and happiness. But it always stays with me because I am always connected with my true self or Christ, in Christ mode, in Christ consciousness mode. I am going through seemingly dark situations, there are seemingly emotions. People are but those are thankful actors which are invited by Spirit to play in front of me that. But my task is just to keep this peace, joy and happiness mode in connection with true self, and not to fight back, not to go into this ego, because who is there, where emotion comes? From remaining part of my darkness in the mind projected to those innocent beings which appear as a people. And by not reacting to them, what happens? Me and those who appear as a people are released from darkness in us both, because darkness is of course projected on them. They appear like them, but it is I take responsibility for so-called darkness. And when I go through there with the Christ mode, this darkness disappears from me and from them forever, because darkness is not a being, darkness is not a part of reality, darkness is just a sickness which lives in unreality.
And it disappears in the presence of
light. Yeah, my only thing is to keep light. It is taught, you learn it.
So if I understand correctly, your goal switches from changing the outside world, changing the situations, it switches to not worrying about what the situation is, but worrying only about your inner state. And
yes. You put it in right words for yourself, but worrying, it's not about worrying at all, because you are just it is like, basically you are missing some energy. You're not no power, and then you get sick. But when you are in that connection, you are always inspired. It means that I feel always abundance, inspiration, energy, love, gratitude, all that characteristics of oneness within me. And I have to just to allow body to be, today is a bit looks like a horror movie. Very nice. Thank you. I'm very thankful. I'm thankful to God for this opportunity, for Spirit who orchestrates all this. Spirit, because there is only two, not three in this room. There is only Spirit and ego, and only one of them is real, Spirit. So there's no way that ego somehow fight. If the one understands that, and the one who has met himself, he understands that, he knows that, does not understand. That means he is not reacting. You know what it means? You cannot play tennis alone. You need second. Ego surviving and feeding itself only by switching on in another person, fighting back mode. As soon as you fight back, yes, that means you are in ego mode and in your own righteousness. No, this is too much, Arthurs. Now I will show you truth, and then you fucked. Then you are both just feeding ego, and this darkness grows. Ego will never understand that. Ego has always limit. I am not cannot be bribed. Yeah, for example, this is program. This is not like a right. This is nothing to do with God, love, Spirit. I am right. I'm not bribable. Let's say. Yeah? There is always that ego will always find such a bribe for that ego which wants to be righteous in bribing. Yeah, that means he will take it, and then he will get some consequences out of it.